Righty, it's my favourite time of the week, I've got to say. It's our Friday Fun Forum. A special guest joins me for the last half hour of the show. We just muse, we chat, we talk about some of the biggest stories over the week, and backed by popular demand because at least one text rolled in and said, let's get Miles back. So here he is, Miles Davis.
How's it going, Leah?
You're so popular, babe, seriously.
Yeah, no, I was popular because I sent the text.
Oh, that was you. Yeah, I thought it was you.
Yeah, it was me. It was me.
Love it. Hey, let's jump in there, Miles. Some of the biggest stories over the week. I spoke with Horowhenua Mayor Bernie Wanden over the car meet, the boy racer, the car enthusiasts, whatever you want to call them, and their assault on police last weekend. More than 200 cars descended on Levin. What do you make of these car enthusiasts? What should be done?
I'm just sick to death of them, to be perfectly honest. Now, no one minds people having fun, but you've got to do it legally. There's options that they can take where they can go out and do it legally. The most distasteful part of this was the assault on the police. That, for me, I think has reached a point now where hard action needs to be taken. And I know in this day and age you can't take hard action. It's all sort of either a wet bus ticket or a hug. But take the cars away from them and get old Crusher Collins back into it. Take the cars away, keep them, don't crush them, sell them. And put the money back into the consolidated fund. As far as that's what I'd be doing. But the thing that really concerned me is there was a lot of chat I'm down in Wellington, a lot of chat down here, that a lot of those people that have been there weren't boy racers, they were adult racers. And that is more concerning. Whether they instigated the aggravation or not, you'd like to think not. But the fact that they were still indulging, and so-called setting a bad example, that's even more concerning.
Well, it's interesting. I had a chat with Mark Mitchell on the show today, earlier, of course, Police Minister. He wants to be able to, he's spoken with Simeon Brown, and he wants to get legislation that they can seize. He goes, at the moment we can seize them but give them back. He doesn't want to give them back either, but he wants to crush them like in the good old days of Crusher Collins. But I like the idea of you selling them.
Yeah, the thing is I suppose if you sell them and they're well souped up vehicles, if you sell them, they're going to get bought by another boy racer. Perhaps I don't know, but if someone's got the money to buy one of those, then they're going to buy another one anyway. So you might as well sell them. But I think the crushing would be quite symbolic as well. And but the thing that concerns me is the lawyers have been nipping their way in there. Oh, this is against human rights, and you can't be doing that. And there'll be such a furore. But they're trying to be tough on it. They're trying to be tough on gangs. Let's get tough on them because they're antisocial individuals. It's really disrupting the lives of the people who live there. And these things go on till about 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's dangerous. It makes it dangerous for people to move around their own neighbourhoods. It's just not on, and they've got no right. So let's just get hard with them.
I said to Mark at the end of the conversation, I said, Judith Collins was nicknamed the Crusher, which she never actually really liked. But I said, we need a name for you, Mark. And he's like, oh, no. And of course, good old listeners texting in and came up with Mark the Macerator Mitchell, Car Schnitzel Mitchell. I don't know what that was.
That's quite good.
Masher Mitchell is the best. Masher Mitchell.
I was thinking, Masher's Muncher. Mark the Muncher. He sounds more like something out of WWE.
Doesn't it? Welcome to the set. All right, let's move on there, Miles. A story over the week about was internal police documents came out saying that alcohol creates 20 times the harm of meth, but police only deploy less than 1% of their staff on reducing its harm. And then Andrew Costa, police commissioner, waded in and said that, what could be considered, allowing bottle stores, say, to only open during daytime hours, raising the price of alcohol. Miles, I said at the time, and look, yes, most of us drink responsibly, And the fact that they've come out saying that, it's more harm than meth, I think it's also because those kind of figures are staggering, right? But because alcohol's legal, we have facts and stats, and we know how much is sold, and we know the harm it does. Whereas meth and illegal drugs, we don't really know, like, what the harm is and how big that really is.
Yeah, I mean, A, that's one thing, but B, like I say, there's a hell of a lot more people. You'd like to think there's a hell of a lot more people drinking than are taking meth. So therefore, it's very, very distorted just from that perspective, even if you take it as read that the figures are correct. So you're more likely to have problems with people on meth than you are on alcohol. I mean, we all know, all of us know people who are just angry, horrible, ugly drunks. And we try and avoid those people. There's a lot of them around, and that we know that it causes a lot of damage. But the thing that interested me is that my first reaction when I saw that was I can understand the police being at it, because they're the ones that end up on the front line facing against it. And then they were saying that as far as the funding for police to actually work on the alcohol problem is absolutely minimal. Like, there isn't much on there. So were they asking for more money? I think they would have been better off focusing on the damage it does to police, the danger that police are in all the time, having to try and patrol the streets on a Friday and Saturday night around New Zealand, trying to sort out these idiots that are out getting drunk. Now, in terms of putting up the prices of it, it's extortionate as it is. I think you'd be better off maybe restricting it. I'd be happy for them to do that, restricting access in off licenses or supermarkets, doing that and sort of cutting the hours down as far as that goes. But help bars more. I mean, the hospitality industry needs help. It needs an injection after 3 or 4 years of real depression, people going out of business left, right and centre. Yeah. They're the ones that are more controlling of their environment, and the police will admit that as well, that, hostelries and pubs are the place where there's more control over those people, and the bars themselves can keep a lid on it. So I'd like to see it somewhere that they try and give a bit of support to it and encourage people there. And I tell you what, I'm sure you'll be in for this. Why don't we get the government to put some money into subsidising booze in bars and ramp the booze up in the other one so that we can go back to the pub again and afford to buy a round?
I'm in for that, Miles. Hey, one thing I will say, when you mentioned about, restricting selling hours, if that was to happen, I would like to see it as it would have to be fair, meaning a supermarket can start selling at 8 in the morning and stay up until 10 at night, right? So if an offie has to stop at, say, 7 at night, so should the supermarket. It's got to be a fair. It's got to be a fair
very
playing
much so.
field.
Well, in the UK, on a Sunday, supermarkets, dairies, a lot of dairies are there, corner shops as we call them. They've got alcohol, which they say they're not allowed to sell it on a certain time, between certain times on a Sunday. That's right. So that sort of philosophy is already there, and I agree with you. Why should the supermarkets have? The bottle stores are run by small business people trying to run a little family business. Yeah. They're the ones that are getting violently targeted half the time. Yes. For them, it'd be good if they can close earlier. I go through till 8, 9, 10 o'clock if you can just shut at 7. And if you haven't got your booze, it's almost like the 6 o'clock swill, but not quite. Just plan your booze buying accordingly. Don't just go and get a lot of grief for the police and for the country just because you CBA going out and buying your booze early.
Yeah. It is the Friday Fun Forum with Miles Davis, some of the biggest stories over the week. This got quite a bit of... people were really wondering how much entitlement they were for sick leave. This is after Brooke Van Velden, who I spoke to earlier in the week. She's the Minister of Workplace Relations and Safety, and she is looking at targeting... Well, she's calling it targeted consultation, but basically she wants to change the Holidays Act in an effort to increase certainty and reduce complexity. Miles, I didn't really realise what a shambles the Holiday Act is in, and payroll never knows, who's done what and who's going to get a holiday and how many sick leave has Miles had. But what got people going, well, hang on, is if you're a part-time worker, it'll be
get your 10 bloody days.
Yes. So she wants to look at the pro rata system where, 2 days a week, if you're working, you're not going to get 10 days a year.
I know, do you know something? We were just talking about that a week or two ago, and I wasn't aware of that, and I was saying, that's absolutely ridiculous. You're working 2 or 3 days a week, and you're getting that same entitlement for sick days. It's farcical. So in essence, you're getting that much, like you're getting 3 or 4 weeks sick leave instead of 2. So because that's when you're going to be off, and the fact that you can get more of it, and people might say, oh, but it's only part, but that's the choice. That's the choice you make. That's the job that you've got.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure on the holiday front they don't get 20 days holiday if you're only working part-time. I'm sure that don't they pro rata those days, or if they get the holiday as well, that's even more ridiculous.
Yeah,
they accrue, which I've always thought was a bit mean here. You've got to work for a year technically before they let you take a day off. I wasn't too happy starting at 8:30 instead of 9 either when I first came over. I thought that was a bit of a liberty, but it really is fun. Another thing as well, and I'd love it if anyone wants to text in and give you the answer on this.
Yeah,
because my wife works part time. She works 3 days a week.
Right.
And one of she works Tuesday, Wednesdays and Fridays. Now, nearly all the stat holidays, other than Anzac and Waitangi, fall on a Monday. So she never gets a Monday holiday. Should that be, the holiday being Mondays, that means all the workmates who work on that Monday, they get all those extra days holiday a year. Is that fair?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, I know what you are. It's a good question, but I think because she never works a Monday, it just doesn't. She's not entitled.
No, but why are you entitled because it's a Monday?
Yeah.
Why does the fact that it's a Monday? Oh, Mondays are more important. If you work on a Monday, you can have extra. That just happens to be the day that they bung it on because they're tagging it onto a weekend.
Yeah, they are.
So they're all doing the same job. They're doing the same job.
Yep.
Same amount of hours a week, but these other mates get all these extra days off a year. It doesn't seem right.
It doesn't.